Right now, we'll be joined by our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain, to give us an insight and his perspective on today's mega push by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Manipur. Well, Wasbir, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a big development push in Manipur ahead of polls. So what is significant here also is that Prime Minister Modi has not even once spoken about the opposition challenge. Instead, he's simply focused on development. So is opposition not a factor for Modi now?
Yes, Pooja, this is a mega election rally that the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has just addressed. This is clearly an attempt by the BJP to give a head start to the party's election campaign. That is exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done in his very long election rally in Hafta Kanjebung, the grounds in Imphal. This is the first biggest public rally ahead of the impending Manipur elections. And significantly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, starting from connectivity to talking about Manipur's history, to talking about bridging the divide between the hills and the valley, coming to talking about water supply schemes and so on. These are some of the major points which the Prime Minister has emphasized during his election rally. He has also laid the foundation. He has also laid the foundation for several of the projects. He has also inaugurated several of the major projects that the Biren Singh government is going to initiate in the next couple of months ahead of the elections. Now, the point is, the biggest point takeaway from the Prime Minister's address, that he has not spoken about the opposition parties at all. He has not mentioned the Congress even once during his rally. Yes, he has talked about the failures of the earlier governments. He has said that the earlier governments took notice of the Northeast only during elections. He said that the earlier governments had failed, wasted time with its slow pace of development, thereby impacting adversely on the people of the Northeast and particularly Manipur. This is, of course, he has said, but he has not mentioned about the Congress or, for that matter, any other opposition party. So this is clearly an indication that the BJP is extremely confident and wants to give that same confidence to the people and asking them to elect the government, elect the BJP government in power. And a couple of days ago, in fact, on the 1st of January, NIDA convener Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma had also categorically emphasized from Guwahati that a BJP government will come on its own in Manipur this time with absolute majority. So he has also, in that address, the NIDA convener has also tried to ignore the alliance partners. In fact, they're saying that BJP is quite capable of forming the government alone in Manipur this time round. And that is the message which I get from the Prime Minister's very, very exhaustive address to the people of Manipur in his first election rally. So by not talking about the opposition parties, the Prime Minister has given an clear indication that the BJP, for the BJP, opposition is not an issue at all this time round as far as the Manipur elections are concerned. And of course, his push on development, starting from the highway projects to the water supply projects to the connectivity projects, his emphasis on the history of Manipur, his reference to Rani Gaidulu as to how she is going to inspire the youths of Manipur, his reference to Northeast, or for that matter, his reference to Manipur as the gateway to India's development. He's talked about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's. He said that the freedom struggle, India's victory at the freedom movement started from Manipur when Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose hoisted the tricolor at Moirang. So these are some of the points that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized, clearly giving the BJP an edge in this coming election.
Right, Wasbir. And Wasbir, from today's address by the Prime Minister, can we safely say that development will be the only issue the BJP will be banking on during its campaign for assembly polls?
Absolutely. You are right, Pooja. This is very, very clear that for the BJP, or for that matter, for the BJP in Manipur, development and only development is going to be the election agenda. That is nothing else that the BJP is going to harp on. And the roadmap has been laid very, very clear by the Prime Minister with his address. And of course, while very, very carefully calibrated development projects which the center and the Manipur government have chalked out, apart from the valley areas, the development projects also covers large parts of the hill areas. because there has always been a complaint that the hill areas were neglected in the overall development push, and that is what the Prime Minister sought to allay this time, which is addressed. Then very, very clearly, Manipur government, or for that matter, the centre, has chalked out specific development projects, or rather mega development projects, covering both the hills as well as the valley, Imphal Valley areas in Manipur. And therefore, what I'm going to conclude with this words that this time round, for the BJP in Manipur, it is going to be the development that is going to be the election plank. And apart from that, they have sought to ignore the opposition, giving an impression to the people the opposition does not matter at all as far as the BJP is concerned. This clearly gives the BJP a solid edge as far as the coming elections are concerned in Manipur.
All right, thank you, Wasbir, for sharing your perspective at this point in time. So indeed, a clear message we can say by BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was at Hafta Kam Jaibong ground addressing a mega push for the BJP's Manipur election. And he clearly mentioned, and it is indicated, that development will be the only mantra for BJP in Manipur.